Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Back to Base. And in Azure Learning Series, today we are going to talk about the Azure Function. We'll talk about how you can create Azure Function using VS Code and how you can debug it locally on Windows machine and how you can publish it. So let me open the Visual Studio, then I'll show you how you can basically create the Azure Function. Okay, so as you can see, I already have Visual Studio code installed. So if you already not have Visual Studio code in your local machine, you can download it from the Microsoft site. And before we dive into a couple of things, we need to make sure those are installed on machine before creating the Azure function. So first is Visual Studio Code. It should be installed. Second, you should have a valid subscription as your subscription, and you need to log in into that subscription on the Visual Studio Code. So for that, basically, if you go here, I already have login. So what you need to do, if you go to extension, search about the Azure. So it will give you Azure tools. So you need to install this extension in order to work with the Azure basically. So it's already installed in my machine, so I'll not install it. And second, you need to go once you have this extension installed, you will see this icon there, and once you click on this icon, you can basically log in into your Azure portal, and all the subscription that you have access to, you will see in this list. And in below it is workspace where you can see the different icon like Azure Function, storage account, logic app, static app, and other option you can see here. So let's try to create the Azure function. And one more thing, if you wanted to debug it locally, I'll show you how you can do it. And for that, we need to install the Azure core tools for the Windows. And if you are running on the Mac or Linux, you need to install that as well. So I'll show you how you can install that. First, what I'll do, I'll create so already have this dummy Azure function created. I'll create new one. So let me click on here, open. What I'll do, I'll create back to base Azure function demo and select this folder. Click on yes. Okay. So once you have this, you go to this icon there and you can see here different options like Azure Function and Azure App Service, Azure Static Web App, and other option you can see. So click on this Azure Function. It will give you different option: create function, create project, or operation. It will give you. So I'll click on the create function, and it will give you different options, whatever folder available in your Visual Studio. So as I already have created back to base, then I'll just select it, and it will give you different languages. For example, if you are familiar with the Python, JavaScript, TypeScript, C Sharp, you can choose your language. So I'll choose Python here, and you can select the different model version. I'll select the model 2, and then it will give you the Python version, and then it will creating, and it will give you some other options. So let's load those options. Uh, yeah. So if you see it, it will give you different type of Azure function or trigger you can create, like HTTP trigger or block trigger, Cosmos DB trigger, or these options you can create. I'll create simple HTTP trigger. So hit enter, and you can create if you wanted to access your Azure and function endpoint publicly, you can create a anonymous. And if you wanted to manage through API key or something like that, you can choose other option. So for now, I'll choose anonymous. Click on the anonymous. So it is creating the virtual environment if you see, and it will create the Azure function as well. So yeah, it is taking a little bit time. So as you can see, it has created the Azure function, and it will give you a little bit initial document as well, how and what is created there. So as you can see, it is the function app. and you can go to Explorer, where you can check like function app, host, and some other supported files are created, and you can see some Azure function model is also there in the requirement.txt. So this is basically main file where you like write your business logic. I'll not try to modify currently, but you can modify accordingly if you wanted to modify for your, let's say, uh, if you wanted to return some particular data, let's say employee ID or something, you can customize this function, and you can create it get or post function accordingly. So for now, I'll not modify it. I'll show you how you can, I mean, publish it, run it. And so once I'll run it and hit the endpoint, it will return this response basically. But if you wanted to create a little bit complicated function, you just need to modify your request body and response body you can modify here. So let me try to debug it. So for the debug, click on this debug icon and run icon, and here you can click on this. So before that, if you don't have like Azure core tools installed, then it will. So what you need to do, you need to install the Azure function core tool in order to debug or run locally. So you, for the Windows, you can directly download the Windows 64-bit or 32-bit. And for other environment as well, you can install these packages for the Linux or Mac. So once you have installed those packages, since I already have installed for the Windows, I'll just hit it, and it will ask for the connect to the storage account. I'll connect it to, and I'll select my particular subscription. So you need to select the storage account as well for your Azure function. If you have not created, first you need to create the any storage account on the Azure portal as well. So it is running. I'll show you how you can basically trigger it from local. I'll select. So I already have created this storage account on my Azure portal. That's why you can see in the list. There are some error, but I think you can ignore. These are the warning. So if you see, like it is started running, and you can see this URL HTTP and this code and this trigger. So what I'll do, I'll just copy it, and what I'll do, I'll go to my Postman, and as you can see, it's already there. So I'll hit it, and you can see the response is being written like HTTP trigger function executed successfully, pass name and string this and that. And in the body as well, you can pass the name. Let me give show you like name Aditya. So as you can see, since it didn't have the name, right? So it was giving the error. Since I have added the name, it is giving the hello Adit. This is HTTP trigger executed successfully. And if you see function here, it is checking the name. If name is not present, it is going into this block, right? So this is how you can, I mean, trigger it, your function locally. And once you triggered it from local and you are able to identify your function is working fine, then what you can do, you can go to again Azure and click here in the Azure function, and you can see deploy to function add. So click on this and select your Azure subscription, and there is already one function app. Then I'll just publish, and it is asking whether you wanted to deploy there or not. So I'll just deploy there. So it is deploying. Then I will show you in the Azure portal like how it is there. So it is deploying. Let's wait a couple of seconds. So it is giving deployment successful. Da, da, da. Then what I'll do, I'll go to my Postman, not Post Manager portal, and search Azure function app. So here you can see function app, select, and since I had selected this one, you can see here we will have different app or functions. You go to here and you will have app files. So as you can see, like function is you can order it from the Azure portal. So here, this one. So this is the function app that I had created in the Visual Studio, and same you can check here because I had published it to this one. Now what I'll do, I'll find the uh, URL for this. Let me check. So this is HTTP trigger. Click on this one and click on code and test. And what I'll do, I'll get the function URL. So if you can see, this is the function URL, and just copy it, and you can hit that URL from your machine again. So this is an HTTP trigger and Aditya, and just click on here. So again, you can see you are getting the response. And if you remove this body, it will give you same response, like it doesn't have like uh, name into this one. So this is how you can basically create the Azure function app and deploy it to Azure. And if you wanted to secure app your endpoint, you can configure the function key for your application, right? So and you can monitor your application, like how many times it triggers, how many times it failed. And if you want to do some integration with the some other application, you can also do in this window. So that's about the function app, and this is how you can create the function app. So that's about it. And thanks for watching. And if you have liked this video, please do subscribe to my channel Back to Base. And thanks for watching.